Grand design. The philosophy of Amma is having a major role in understanding the entire universe and trans-universal and sub-universal elements as a part of the grand design. It is a predetermined plan, and there is nothing but action in course of time. There is neither to create, nor to transform, nor to translate, nor to transgress. Everybody must accept this concept of grand design. It is the key of her cosmosophic approach. She is having such a prudence to understand the cosmic identities as an integral phenomena. It is called as cosmosophy. She is not theosophic. She is not religion oriented. She is not ritual oriented. She is not idolatral oriented. She is more oriented in understanding the cosmic identities as an inevitable and transforming identities. All are important in this particular cosmic identities. One cannot discriminate as great or less, or one cannot throw out as functional or non-functional. This is the way in which she has identified the cosmosophy, and she understands this entire thing to be the concept of Brahmanda, and therein the basic principle of understanding the Brahmanda she finds in this particular order of hierarchy a grand vacuum. And when she gives more importance to the grand vacuum, then she goes for rejecting the God and rejecting the soul. She never accepts the God. She questions in her childhood, show me the God, how he will be appearing. Is he mortal or immortal? Is he longer or bigger? Is he wearing the dress like me or so? And how the names are given to the God. We cannot understand the very concept of God at all. And she identifies that even though you may go for a quest, you cannot understand the God. Irrespective of your quest, God is provided unmanifest. And that is why she is not prone for making a question about theosophy and theism, which is theocentric approach. She is totally cosmocentric. And in that approach, she is rejecting the concept of soul also. She is not accepting the soul. She is having an idea. What is the need of soul for me? In my regular way of life, I am dealing with the body only. And there is no question of soul. Where from the soul has come? And it must have come from the vacuum itself. So how to understand the soul? There is no soul at all, according to Anasuya Devi, the mother of all. And she will be very particular and clear in understanding the significance of the vacuum and rejection of the God. She accepts only an infinite and primordial element which is transforming into energy. In this particular process, she very clearly says that something is present as unmanifest. It is now found as manifest. And the manifestation is myself. And the self is the manifestation of the unmanifest. She accepts only two important things, the manifest and unmanifest. And in that particular process, she gives more importance to energy. She accepts the role played by the energy. She understands that energy, pressure, light, and sound, they are all very much evolutes of the grand vacuum itself. And she will be accepting the all-pervasive consciousness. All the living beings and non-living beings are characterized by consciousness. Only the consciousness functions. Consciousness is the key for understanding the entire universe as an infinite phenomena. And the expression of the consciousness is the manifestation through mass. And it is conditioned by time. And that is why she is giving importance to the role of time. She accepts everything as the change. Change is the feature of manifestation. In that particular process, she understands that change is inevitable. Birth, survival, growth, disease, decay, and death, they are all nothing but change. She accepts only the change, and also at the same time she accepts one becoming many. She accepts only two things. One is a vital plurality and another is a vital singularity. The singularity is all pervasive in the plural identities. It may be called energy, it may be called prana, it may be called consciousness. Its source is the vacuum. And she is very clear that one is becoming many. And at the same time, she is having another important observation that when many become, how they are dependent, how they are functioning in this particular state of manifestation. She goes for an intra-organic framework in all living beings. She is very clear that everything is depending on something, and that is why she accepts the Akasha and Avakasha. Avakasha and Akasha are one and the same. They are supporting each other. This intra-organic framework is considered to be very, very important because the head is supporting the neck is supporting the trunk is supporting the pelvic is supporting the feet. In the same way, the feet are supporting the thighs are supporting the pelvic, it is being supported by the trunk, and it is supported by the neck, and it is supported by the head. That means this intra-organic framework is found in all living beings. And she understands this particular plurality to be nothing but modification. Modification is not a transient phenomena for her. It's an eternal phenomena. It is the scope of eternity. To understand the very root of modification is the wisdom in understanding the growth of the universe and the truth behind the universe. So the modification is not illusion for her, and she is totally away from the fold of illusion, and she accepts that all are becoming integral, and there is a supportive function. The supportive function is vital. She never goes for a process of how a thing changes. She understands change as inevitable. At the same time, one unit supporting another unit is also inevitable. The vacuum is supporting the energy. The energy is supporting the consciousness. The consciousness is supporting the silence. The silence is supporting the mind. The mind is supporting the thought. The thought is supporting the action. In the also, we can see from action to consciousness and vacuum, we can have support of each other. And she is very much clear that the universe is an integral one. One cannot distinguish it as simply a dynamic identity. It is totally static, functional, appearing to be dynamic. And dynamism is the force which is functioning within itself. And she is very clear in understanding The realization of the universe is an integral factor, and it is the grand design that the universe is one, man is one with the universe, and man is one in the universe. There is only infinite, and there is no finite identities, and there is only truth, there is no illusion. It is the sequence of the grand design.